Hey guys, in this video, it is a breakdown of a game. It was Ele Boomkin Holy Paladin against Fire Mage Arms Warrior Holy Paladin. Now, since we're a double caster team, we're going to be kind of positioning ourselves in the middle of the map. We want to be way out there so that we can peel for each other. Because they have a caster and a melee, we want to be in their face because that warrior is going to have to navigate between that caster triangle of doom, and it's going to be a pain in the ass for him. Either he's going to have to use charges, or he's going to have to leap, or he's going to literally waddle. And my job is to keep Earthbind down in between all three of us. It is the perfect setup. Now, we're pretty much expecting them to train Runaka this entire game, mostly because warriors always do that to Boomkins to shut down their damage. But you'll see what happens. But pretty much their game plan is huge CC change. I'm sure as you've seen some videos with me on Fire Mage, they're going to try to open with a Poly or a Fear. They're going to chain that into other CCs. And the Paladin's going to run in through a Hodge and Blind. We're pretty much preparing for Garf to be CC'd for days. So we want him to be in the way back. We want him to be near a pillar so he can line of sight Polys as best he can. Our team composition only has one kick, which is really me, Wind Shear. Sometimes I do go pet kicks on this one, and by pet kick I mean the Primal Elementalist, and I use even the Storm Ele for the toss-up. But we know that that's what they're going to do. They're going to train a target down with the Arms Warrior. The Fire Mage will go in for the huge chains of CC. We're spreading out so we can't get that Dragon Breath. The Boomkin can't get polymorphed, so that's good. So we know they're pretty much going to train him because they can peel me for days. Now, our comp is just a huge damage train. So our job is going to be, we're going to get in the middle, we're going to spread out, and we're going to be putting a ton of pressure on that Fire Mage. We want him to have to play defensively. If he plays defensively, he can't get off CC, and their game plan is pretty much donezo. So that's our strategy going into this. Now, if the warrior is either way out of position or he's in battle, we can hit him, but again, we want to put pressure on that Fire Mage to stop that CC. So that's kind of the breakdown of what we're going to be doing. Now, in terms of CC abilities, Runaka has Root Beam. Root Beam is a good kind of combo to force some cooldowns. He's going to use it on the Holy Paladin. I have Capstun Totem in this game. I can Capstun out of that if I can. But I did go Cap here, which I can either stun him or the Mage if I can catch him out, and we can pump him full of damage. So pretty much this game is going to start out, and we're just kind of talking about positioning where to go. I'm going to break to the right. Runaka should be breaking to the left. We're going to get out there. Now, we know that Roy over here, this mage, is going to be invising off the bat. He wants to get a CC on the opener. That's going to be their go. And my goal is, if I had a root totem, I could have thrown a root down for it. But because I did not go root in this game, I actually do something a little strange. I pretty much see him going invis, and I run over. I put down Earthbind to start slowing my friends. And I go and I use a Thunderstorm. And it's like, wait, why did you Thunderstorm there? Well, I went to go knock the mage. And as you can see, I pulled the mage out over here. Oh, and you probably didn't see that because it was so fast, but let me back up 2 seconds. So I basically Thunderstorm. The mage is there. He casts one Scorch, as you can see. Runaka's in between the pillars. Garf is, as we were saying earlier, as far away as physically possible. And there's the... I don't know if you saw it again, but I sheared his polymorph. So he was going for a poly, and he was going for a poly on me. Because what he wants to do is, if he polys me way over here, my healer's going to have to come out to either dispel me, or I'm not going to be able to put in any pressure. And a lot of times with these comps, where they're heavy CC, our job is to counter their pressure with either, disruptive CC or disruptive, whatever, interrupting their cast, knocking them around, slowing them down, peeling them off, or we go really hard in the paint. And you're going to see we go hard in the paint. And that's how we counter their go. So what we see here is the warrior actually leaps even further deep. The Holy Paladin's way over here on the right side. He is so far away. The warrior is now a great target. He just made himself a huge target. He's out of my range, but he's way deep, and we know he's going for the Fear on Garf. And one of the great things about Warrior Fears, and you can see Garf with his icon, Warrior Fears may path the... if he gets feared out into the open, he's pretty much free game, or even just feared in general, he's free game for Roy to land a poly on. And now that my kick is down, I have nothing to stop him other than hard casting a hex or doing something like that. So what we're going to see is Warrior's trying to chase. Warrior actually got freedom, I guess he's had freedom for some time, and probably from my Earthbind slow. He runs in, he hits Garf with the Fear. You can see it over here on the left side, and you can see Roy automatically going for that poly. Now, you're going to see him, he cancels it, which is kind of peculiar because I don't have a kick. And then and what you're going to see here is a few things. We see what they did. They put he put him in the full fear. He's going to get polyed off of it. I don't have a kick. It's going to happen unless we get some type of clone or something. And what we immediately do is we say, we got to go, we got to go. Runaka instantly root beams. You can see the right side of the screen. Instantly root beams the Holy Paladin. And we just start, and you can see all the stars fluttering around. That pretty much means he popped Incarn. So now we're Incarn root beam. Now we're starting to pump some damage into this mage. He's already at about 70% health. He's getting a little scared. He's at about 35-40% health now, and he starts casting another poly. I don't have a kick, but he blinks over to secure it. You can see Runaka going to town on him. The warrior's also at 50% because he was so far away, and we were kind of tapping him a little bit. And you can see on the right side also that the Paladin we did force the trinket on that because he was just in the root beam. We forced that. We went over here. We got Temp Shield out on the Fire Mage. You can see it in one of the abilities. And he did get the full polymorph out on Garf, unfortunately. So now that Temp is out, I can easily purge that with my purge ability. He's still low. There is a chance that we could just pump him without just getting Temp off. Like, so for example, you don't always have to DPS. You don't always have to purge it off, because when you purge Temp, it basically makes it expire. So let's say he starts temping at 100% health, then we DPS him down to 50%, and then I purge temp off. It brings him all the way back up to 100%. So we have to be a little careful. So if we can just kill him while temp is up, it's a super good thing, or at least get cauterized. So again, we're just pumping him full of damage. This is what I was saying earlier. We're trying to do as much damage as we can because we don't want him to continue to CC. He has fire. He has flame breath. He has a ring. He has more polys. He can start chaining it. The warrior starting to connect onto Runaka, probably going to stun him here. You know, they're just trying to put out some pressure now, and you can see the Paladin has thrown a sack onto the Fire Mage, meaning that the Fire Mage he's gonna be okay. He's not really in trouble anymore. The Paladins will take the hit instead of him. And so now what I'm doing now is I'm kind of getting closer to Garf. I want to protect him if possible. I do have a stun totem. I didn't use it on the root beam combo. My interrupt's coming up. My hex is coming up. So as you can see, Roy is going for that for the re-polymorph, or it could really be on me, but I can see he's going to be on his focus target. And so now that my kick's about to be up, I can kick him right there. So did I kick? I didn't even kick. Oh, I guess he went for the fake, and now that's interesting. He went for the fake. Oh, let's back up. He went for the fake, and he still has not used it, actually, and did not get the oh, it's because Garf had popped sack. So when a Paladin pops sacrifice, basically any target, and I guess he popped it on Runaka because he was at 40% health. If he were to land a polymorph, it would waste the diminishing return, because any damage done to Runaka is redirected to Garf. So that's why he stopped it. So we can see Roy here pops. I guess he's had combustion up for a little bit of time, and we're kind of just spreading out again. So now Runaka's Incarn is definitely gone. I don't even have Ice Fury. I do have Power of the Maelstrom and Stormkeeper, but basically at this point, you know, we just need to get comfy. We need to top Runaka off. We need to be settled in the middle. So you can see that we're now very spread apart. Garf is now getting back to the pillar, getting ready to line of sight any CCs that come in. And their Paladin is, interestingly, very far away. So he's actually probably in range of the Mage, but he's definitely not in range of the Warrior. And we can see the Warrior's kind of going after Garf, probably because he has a sack. Now, our job now is to say, okay, well, Roy's out in the middle here. He can only CC Tiqqle if Garf lines the sight and while he's sacking. So, you know, he's pretty much fair game, and our positioning is pretty much awesome on this. And so what we end up doing here is I throw a full hex out onto the Mage. And why did I do this? I did this so he can't CC us. He can't do anything, and really our attention is being switched to the Warrior. The Warrior is in really far away, and he's in battle stance. You can see he's not in defensive stance. Sorry, I'm pretty sure he's just not in defensive stance right now. Oh yeah, this is him. He's not in defensive stance, so he's pretty much a prime target. His healer, as I just showed you, was super far away, and Warriors are great targets. Warriors, I think it's underplayed how good a target is for casters against Warriors. We have to watch out for Spell Reflect, but otherwise, we can pretty much train Warriors forever. They're the best PvE targets, and the other, you know, in some comps better than others, but they do take a ton of damage, and they only have one oh my god button they can press. So we're turning our attention to It's Chris. I'm sorry, it's Chris. And Roy is in a full CC. He does have Trinket available, but we're feeling pretty confident. We can see now that we're both just casting into Chris. The Paladin's getting a little scared. It's a little off screen here, but he's starting to move up, and which is going to put him in a perfect place for a clone or a capstun totem. And now Garf makes a pretty big play. The Paladin, first of all, we got a huge cast off right as he was turning the corner, and you can see it down here on the bottom. It's Chris. Garf saw that as soon as It's Chris went around the corner, he hodged him out of line of sight of the Holy Paladin, which pretty much makes him a dead man. So you can see he's right around the corner. I'm about to get my Stormkeeper off. Runaka's trying to get right around the corner for damage. The Mage is now out of CC, but it's a little too late as It's Chris is pretty much dead, and then we just seal the deal. Paladin being way back with his Divine Favor, and it's pretty much GG. So that's pretty much how we countered this team. This was a very good map for us, being a flat, spread out, balanced map. If we got something like Lordaeron, it would have been scarier. It would have been easier for them to just train Garf, which is really, or CC Garf, and we would have had to kite a ton. But in this case, we played this really cleanly on either side of the map, and I just want to give a shout out to my teammates, Runaka and Garf, for being, this was a great game. We had a lot of fun in this one. Please, check out the comments where we, I did some editing over this one, but it was pretty much really fun. Also, shout out to you guys on the other team, Alex and Roy, and It's Chris, GG guys, and that's going to be pretty much the walkthrough of this comp setup. We played it how we really need to be playing it, is CCing when we really need to. Otherwise, we need to be pressuring very, very hard and not letting them get in on our healer, which, you could tell how Roy played this game. He was very nervous to cross the line where we were, and you can see why, because if I back up to about here, Roy never really crosses the midline of this entire battlefield, and that's probably a wise decision, because he, the healer is very, very out of position. I mean, not out of position, but out of the frickin' way. So, yeah, it was definitely a solid game with the guys. So I just want to thank everybody for tuning in, and I want to do more of these walkthroughs of games with you guys about what we're planning, what the other team's comp's planning, and how we're setting it up. I know I play a lot of Ele Boomkin, but I want to give you guys a little bit of taste with some other comps I've been playing. And if you guys have any feedback for me on how I'm walking through these games, please let me know in the description, in the comments below. I'm happy to make any changes. And I'll see you guys in the next commentary. It's Roy! I can't stop. I can't stop his poly. I can't stop poly. You could just get punished though. I'm purging. He's got sack. He's sacked. I'm hexing the mage.
Fuck on. Hit this warrior.
Hitting warrior.
Hodging him, dude.
The best Hodge I've ever seen. The hell! Oh God.